First, as always, setting a proper motivation, which is constituted of 3 points: refuge field, all those bodhisattvas, particularly the Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and the author of the text, Bodhisattva Shantideva, and particularly and precisely how you visualize them. That you are like a very young child being bullied by the elder children, and then you coming home, and your mother is there, just on the verge to embrace you with tremendous love, reassuring you that she's there to take care of you. This is exactly how all possible bodhisattvas are to be visualized, as you are going there to seek their love and affection, and then they are waiting there to reassure you that they are indeed there to embrace you fully with total love, affection, and attention. So this small gesture of the mode of visualizing, that makes the whole practice so powerful and beneficial, and the benefit will be multiplied several times. And your compassion, refuge, sense of refuge, they will all grow, they will all just proliferate because of this simple gesture of how you visualize them. Not just visualizing, but how you visualize them. Likewise, the next point is Bodhicitta field. Your two kind parents on the two sides, all your family members around you, and all other dear mother sentient beings around you. Again, the same thing, how you visualize them, as though like you are the mother, and all of them, they are coming home, being bullied by others, and coming home for shelter, that they are embraced by you as mother, and then you just piercing through each of the eyes to reassuring them that I'm there, and why should you worry, I'm there to take care of you, and giving full attention, love, and so forth, to the extent that each one of them feel themselves so special in your eyes. So this is, if you're able to do that, then that guarantees us that the progress of your Bodhicitta practice will multiply tremendously and exponentially. And the purpose of this practice is finally to unravel the hidden treasure of the Buddha nature, hidden treasure. As long as the beggar fails to discover his or her treasure, which is underneath the floor of the simple hut, the beggar remains a beggar. The moment he or she discovers that he or she is no longer a beggar, perhaps could be the richest person on this earth. So likewise, we all undoubtedly have this incredibly, the greatest of the treasure, the treasure of the Buddhahood, also referred to as the Buddha nature. So that is present in all of us, and yet at the moment that is being hidden. It remains hidden because of the afflictive obscurations and the cognitive obscurations. And the afflictive obscurations, which consist of 3 parts: afflictions, contaminated karmas, and their corresponding active imprints. And the cognitive obscuration, which consists of the misperception or the appearance of the objects in a distorted way as objectively real. And so that giving rise to the sense of self-centered attitude. In short, this incredibly great treasure that each one of us has is obscured by, in short, 2 obscurations: self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. And what we are doing today, the text, Chapter-8, continuation Chapter-8, which is on meditation, and the content of the meditation, which is Bodhicitta. So that is particularly and precisely meant to overcome the self-centered attitude. So keeping that in mind, knowing this, with this mind, imagine that all sentient beings, though they join you, and you are leading this group, that you are encouraging, inspiring all sentient beings to join you to study, reflect, and meditate on the Bodhicitta and episode emptiness. So with that in mind, let's turn to page 2 of the prayer book. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to discuss the perverted views to you the Buddha Dharma I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to discuss the perverted views to you the Buddha Dharma I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to discuss the perverted views to you the Buddha Dharma I pay homage. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, and no sameness. I proceed to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace, which is free of elaborations. I proceed to the mother of the Buddhas, the head of the hearers, the Bodhisattvas, who through the knowledge of all these hearers seeking investigation to complete peace, who through the knowledge of past causes those having migrated to achieve the aims of the world, and through possession of omniscience to subdue and set forth the varieties and all aspects. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham tathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vadi mahashamanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham tathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vadi mahashamanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham tathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vadi mahashamanaye swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of causes as well is taught by the great seer. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, to gain the Buddha's presence, I generate my full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Okay, now we will read the Heart Sutra. As we read the Heart Sutra, always remember the points which we are to emphasize on. And the points here we see that primarily they are two. One is the question asked by and the inspiration, the blessings through the blessings of the Buddha Shakyamuni. The question asked by Shariputra, the Arhat Shariputra to Arya Avalokiteshvara. What is the question asked? Just rather than reading them just without any focus or any specific agenda, we should know what is the question asked by Shariputra to Arya Avalokiteshvara, and that too through the blessings and the inspirations of the Buddha Shakyamuni, telepathic blessings. While the Buddha Shakyamuni at that point was submerged into the experience of emptiness. Part 1. Then part 2 is what precisely is the answer given by Arya Avalokiteshvara. What is the answer given? So the question is, how should those beings who aspire to become Buddha, how should those beings who aspire to understand emptiness, the perfection of wisdom, what should they do? How should they train? How should they be trained themselves? This is a question asked by Shariputra. And then Arya Avalokiteshvara finally gave the answer in such a detailed, great length that finally how to be trained is to be trained in the wisdom of emptiness. And what exactly is wisdom of emptiness? Then Arya Avalokiteshvara was going in great detail about form is empty and form so forth, and then eventually summarizing that all the Buddhas of the three times, past, present, future, all of them, the entrance gate is this wisdom of emptiness. This wisdom of the emptiness is the only entrance gate through which all Buddhas of the past, present, future, they became Buddhas. They became enlightened. Likewise, anyone who is frustrated, disillusioned by the misery of suffering, by the misery of the samsara, by the fears of samsara, if they don't want to be in samsara anymore, what should be they doing? They should be getting out of samsara through entering this gate of the wisdom of emptiness, that they will achieve Buddhahood. And then finally, the Buddha Shakyamuni endorsed or approved the answer given by Avalokiteshvara, and gave the whole consensus that this is in fact what Avalokiteshvara said is indeed very true. Okay, so this the emphasis we should know where to place. With that in mind, let's recite the house word together, page 6. I prostrate to the Arya Trilogy. Thus did I hear at one time that Bhagavan was dwelling on Master Vacha's mountain in Rajgriha to create great community Bodhisattvas. At that time, the Bhagavan was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound illumination. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound illumination of the wisdom and beheld those minor aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara: how should any child of the lineage train who wishes to practice the activity of the profound professional wisdom? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara said this to the Venerable Shariputra: Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound professional wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly, beholding those minor aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Form, emptiness not other than form. Form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, composition factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are emptiness, without characteristics, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no composite factors, no consciousness, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no odor, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomena. There is no I element, and so on, up to and including no mind element and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on, up to and including no aging and death, no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, and path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, Bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the professional wisdom, a mind without obscuration and without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, there is the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times also manifest a complete awakened, unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in the lines of the professional wisdom. Therefore, the mother of professional wisdom, the mother of great knowledge, unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as truth, since it is not false. The mother of professional wisdom is declared. Okay, right? Fine. Tyatha Om Gade Gade Para Gade Para Samgade Bodhisattva. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva should train in the profound professional wisdom like that. And then the Bhagavan arose from that concentration and commended the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage. It is like that, it is like that. One should practice the profound professional wisdom just as you indicated. Even though the Lagadas rejoice, the Bhagavan having thus spoken, the Venerable Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara, those surrounding the entirety along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and gandharvas were overjoyed and highly praised as spoken by the Bhagavan. Okay, so this mantra will recite 7 times in tune. Yatha Om Gade Gade Para Gade Parasamgade Bodhisattva. Yatha Om Gade Gade Para Gade Parasamgade Bodhisattva. Yatha Om Gade Gade Para Gade Bodhisattvacharyavatara Om Gade Gade Paragade Parasamgade Bodhisattvacharyavatara Om Gade Gade Paragade Parasamgade Bodhisattvacharyavatara. By the teachings of the three supreme jewels possessing the power of truth, may in our ignorances be transformed, may they be expelled, may they be may they be pacified, may all negative forces that oppose the Dharma be completely pacified, may the most 80,000 obstacles be pacified, may we be separated from problems and harmful conditions of Dharma, may all enjoyments be accorded to the Dharma, may they be auspicious and perfect happiness here and now. Okay, now we will do 5 minutes, 5 minutes of meditation, and what the meditation is going to be like, it depends on the individual. Okay, say those of you who are already introduced to the Mahamudra meditation on the mind, so you can meditate on the mind, the observing the mind, Mahamudra practice, and those of you who are introduced to, say, Krishna emptiness, you can do that, and those of you who are not so much into these two things, then you can do the the breathing meditation. And should there be any new attendees here, as for the breathing, just focus, when you know the focal point, focus between the nose and the upper lip, in between there, and then the body position. Body position should be the two most important thing is, one, body should be upright and eyes should not be closed. Body should be upright and eyes should not be closed, and the right hand to only left hand, and the tips of the two thumbs joining, forming a triangle, and place the two hands on your laps are in a restful state. And then breathe very naturally, and the tip of the tongue should touch the upper palate, and breathe very naturally. And then as you count the breath, multitasking. As you focus your mind on the focal point in between the nose and the upper lip, there's multitasking of counting the breath. Count in and breathe in, breathe out, cycle 1, breathe in, breathe out, cycle 2, and then it depends. In 5 minutes, some people might have 108 cycles, others might have just 60 something, depending on the length of the breath. Okay, and then others, as I said earlier, those who are only very familiar with the meditation mind, Mahamudra practice, you do it. Otherwise, those not too so familiar with that, you have just listened to this recording, they are saved. Instruction once, and now you want to do it now. So since that I'm not going to give the instruction here, I would suggest you to do something else. So meditation on the mind, observing the mind, that requires a special, or that requires series of instructions, without which it could be quite dangerous. Okay, with that in mind, let's start. 5 minutes. now, I think we left, last time we left stanza 120, is it? Okay. So for those of you who are coming here newly, this is to inform you that what we are doing here is a continuation. It's a continuation of the class which we've been doing for the last several, maybe like 2 or 3 months. So there was several breaks here and there. Otherwise, it has been like several months that we've been doing this. And the author of the text, the author of this text, Bodhisattva Shantideva, he has two main. What is available now? There are two main texts. There are two main texts written by the same author. One is Bodhicaryavatara. This is the text which we are studying, a guide to the Bodhisattva's way of life. And the other one is Shiksha Samuchaya. Shiksha Samuchaya, the compendium of the contacts, compendium of actions or contacts. So that is the end of the text, and the compendium of contacts that is more to do with quoting from the Buddha's own teachings, sutras, as to how the Bodhisattvas should be engaging in the deeds, engaging the ways and means to benefit the sentient beings and to become Buddha themselves. So all based on what the teachings of the Buddha, the sutras, who he just extracted the quotes or the stanzas and the verses and the pieces from the sutras. And whereas this Bodhicaryavatara, entry into the middle way, the Bodhisattva entry, what is that? A guide to the Bodhisattva's way of life. So this is more the insights that the Bodhisattva Shantideva himself first got from the sutras, and how he translated them into his own practice, and then rendering them to us in such a simple and based on pure reasoning, and very much based on common sense. So the idea is, as the title rightly points to, a guide to the Bodhisattva's way of life. Meaning, how should someone who aspires to achieve the greatest happiness for oneself, who aspires to help all sentient beings, and who aspires to become Buddha. So all these three should be able to see. If you're able to see all these three things just as the manifestation of the same thing, all these 3 points, how to give yourself, how to make yourself the happiest person, 1. Number 2, how to make others happy, number 2. Number 3, the wish to become Buddha yourself. So all these 3 points, at the outset, they may seem to be contradictory, or they may seem to be from 3 different angles. But then, through learning this text, through learning particularly chapter 8, and then chapter 9, chapter 8 and 9, and all other chapters, early chapters, chapter 1 through to chapter 7, they are like preparing us to engage with chapter 8 and chapter 9. So finally, most of us here, we already know that the journey is the journey of this mantra. Tyatha Om Gade Gade Para Gade Para Samgade Bodhisattva. This is the journey which we already sang in tune. This is the journey.